Fever Dream, Part 2. This forest was quite peculiar. It was empty looking in, yet the moon somehow strains through the vast canopy. We all stay close to each other, at times holding each other's hands to prevent separation. The eerie gloom and depression that this forest emits is almost forcing my lids to close. Trying to stay awake continues to be a difficulty for all of us. Stumbles, a few falls, and face plants into the floor of dead leaves keep me and Jackson from walking straight. As Rin leads the both of us, he stops suddenly. I couldn't make out more than his silhouette, but he seems fixated on something ahead of us. A dim glow of neon green then colors his face. Gradually, the source of the light seems to spawn out of nowhere. I could start to ascertain a somewhat small wooden structure with a large panel of neon light bathing the building to a visible form. Rin turns around, curious to see our reaction to the bizarre thing before us. Jackson doesn't seem to have noticed it yet, and I stare blankly in its direction, lost in confusion in the inner reaches of my imagination. Rin takes both our hands and leads us slowly to the building, carefully treading the unknown sea of darkness at our feet. What an outlandish structure it was! A convenience store, who knows how far from the interstate. Its lights hauntingly beam in the dark wood. Its slightly decayed walls creak without a wind to beat against it. Jackson's jaw drops as his eyes light up from the glow of the incandescent light. He's just realizing what strange building we're nearing. The only light coming from the building was the neon panel. We draw closer to the empty windows, attempting to peek into the place. Absolutely nothing can be seen. Let's go in. Rin steps back. Jackson and I look at him, confused and slightly angry at such an idea as that. He looks at us with disappointment. So you're gonna leave all the dangerous stuff for me? Gee, thanks, guys. No, you, Rin, don't be like that, Jackson stutters. It's just well, I look once again in the window. You can't expect us to want to hit the dark head-on like yourself. It's irrational and stupid. Jackson crosses his arms. Besides, what do we need that we would have to get in there? We should get going and stop lollygagging. Food, I say, staring into the emptiness. We've been walking for hours now. Aren't you hungry? Rin smiles at me, crossing his arms and giving Jackson a sassy expression. Jackson slumps. Fine, but Rin, since it was your idea, you are going in first. Gladly. Rin confidently strolls to the door. Swinging it wide open, a strangely eerie stench protrudes the opening. Rin walks in, not an ounce of fear in his bones. As he steps in the building, a warm light flicks on, filling the convenience store with a light like the sun. Jumping at the sudden blinding light filling our eyes, Jackson and I cautiously follow behind Rin. The inside looks normal, like the inside of an everyday convenience store. To the left of the door, there was a long counter that extends down to the back of the room. Freezers line the back wall. Aisles and aisles fill the rest of the space, with random wooden crates and boxes occupying the aisle shelves. Rin immediately starts scanning each aisle for something. Really, I'd be willing to eat anything. Bam, bang, bam, bam! A metal door that stayed hidden behind the counter was being beaten, harder and harder, like bodies were being thrown against it. The sound was sharp and full, almost ear-piercing. Rin grabs Jackson's and my hand and pulls us down, hiding all of us behind the counter. The banging stops. I gradually lift my head, my eyes just grazing the surface of the counter. After I look side to side, I notice a man standing behind the counter. He wore a light tan fur coat, just a tad too big, and a furry hat in quite a darker shade than the coat. He looked quite roughed up, scruffy, a man of the woods. Really didn't think kids still wandered through here, he says with a thick southern accent. There was a joyful ring to his voice. A friendly tone. Rin turns his chin up and stares the man down. Then what does that make you? Well, I hope you know I ain't no enemy. He smiles. I happen to be a guide, and you look very, very lost to me. Absolutely. Jackson butts in with a crazy look on his face. Very, 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 very lost. Rin eyes the man, very skeptical of him. We don't trust you. Nope, just you, Ren. Jackson bounces up from behind the counter and strolls over confidently to the man. Jackson's strong suit is his mastery of social situations, something Rin doesn't grasp so well. I look at Rin, begging him with my eyes to give the man a chance. He just mumbles under his breath with a scowl, grabs my hand, and follows Jackson. We exit the building to catch another absurd sight. The man is not alone, accompanied by another man dressed similarly, along with 12 golden doodles, all varying sizes, bouncing up and down and play with each other. My face lights up at the adorable scene before me. Goodness gracious, are these the kids that got in here? Sakes alive, y'all lucky we found you, the second man gasps in unbelief. Sure, very lucky. Rin squeezes my hand tighter. Don't worry, y'all. We know just who can get you all safely through here. There's only so far we can take you. The first man walks into the sea of puppies, gesturing all of them to follow him. Tumbles, splats, and jumps. Each doodle follows the man, like a pack of silly wolves. End of part 2.